What's going on, everyone? Welcome to this month's meeting. As usual, I'm your host, Draith, and hopefully everyone's been having a pretty good month so far. I know that we've been ultra busy as usual. So let's get rolling through the news. So first thing I want to mention is that thank you so much for all the community members out there that submitted their flags for the contest. We had announced the winners and such, and there was, I think it was over 100, or was it either 70 or 80 different flags, which was absolutely fantastic to see. There was just a lot of community effort, and there's some really good choices that we still have to choose from as far as the team goes, but the community voted heavily in favor for several ones which were absolutely fantastic. So hats off to the entire community on that for voting and submitting, and as well as a huge shout out to Low Fat Milk for throwing in the R to give to the winners and such. So appreciate all of that. Now, one of the things that I keep getting asked is about wrapped R, or as we dub it, WAR. So I'm proud to say that WAR should be available by the end of this month. And for those of you who don't know what WAR is, as it says, wrapped R, and it's going to be available on Binance Smart Chain. And essentially what it allows you to do is it allows you to wrap your R and then have it on Binance Smart Chain and then trade it on PancakeSwap and whatnot. But the other cool feature of it is that it basically breaks linkages between wallets. Now, how the way that's done, for example, is if you have two Binance Smart Chain wallets, and then you purchase WAR with one of them, or you get it from somewhere, it doesn't matter. You can unwrap it to an R address and then rewrap it to the other address, and now those two wallets are not linked, thanks to, obviously, zk-SNARKs. So there's no direct connection between those two wallets, and there's nothing to trace to get to that other wallet, which is fantastic. As I said, that will be available in end of this month, at the latest beginning of July. But my goal is to get it out by end of this month, which I don't foresee any issues with it. So the other thing is that it rewards liquidity stakers as well. So for those of you that aren't in DeFi, basically with the way PancakeSwap, Uniswap, and all the other places like that work, is that users can provide liquidity and they get rewarded for it through their own liquidity system. However, to mitigate like impermanent loss and things like that, additional measures need to be put in, which in this case anytime there's a transfer, for example, transferring, meaning like buying or selling or sending to another wallet, things like that, there's a 1% fee that's imposed. Now, what happens with that fee is that half of that goes to the liquidity stakers. So when you provide liquidity in that pair, like say, for example, WAR BNB, right? You provide liquidity in that pair, and then from that point, you can stake it on, it would be on another website where you can stake the liquidity. And then what that means is that now that liquidity is locked in place, and you will start pulling in some of the rewards that come from the transfer fees. So this way, if the price shoots up or goes down, doesn't matter, you'll still get, a percentage of those rewards that come in, which over time will eliminate any impermanence loss that may occur. Now, impermanence loss is a long explanation, so I encourage you guys to look that up to understand what I'm saying. If you don't understand from the get-go, that is. But for those who understand, yeah, you get what I'm saying. Now, the other half of a percent would go to Pirate Chain itself for, hiring developers, like basic marketing, all that fun stuff. This way, we're less reliant on the community for funding, which you guys have been super gracious and super helpful and super generous when it comes to donating to Pirate Chain to further the cause and things like that. But at the same time, and at least in my personal opinion, I hate having to kind of lean on the community for funding. If we can be semi-self-sufficient, or at least have some sort of revenue stream come in for the project to be able to fund things without having to go to the community all the time, to me, that's the best way to go about it. And WAR is one of those ways that we could do that, which is fantastic. So we've done several interviews lately, one of which was with Jeranism, which is a massive, massive channel. And on top of that, I was on Jeranism during one of his, it was basically one of his subscriber events where he, answers people's questions, helps people out with their wallets, teaches people how to do things. So Fleet Captain Cax, as well as me, were on there, basically answering people's questions, essentially doing like an AMA style event to tons and tons of people, which is absolutely fantastic. They're huge supporters of us now, and have been for a little while. Same with, obviously Crypto Vigilante, Survival Podcast, and so forth. We're starting to expand our borders, which is fantastic, to encompass all these different communities. Because the cool thing is, in my opinion, is that basically it doesn't matter what you think as far as, or your personal beliefs or opinions. We're all tied together with one common goal, with one common belief, and that's financial privacy, and it's being eroded by outside individuals, or entities, I should say. And we're trying to get that back. We're fighting to get our privacy back. And it's just great to see all these different communities that are completely different from one another rallying around Pirate Chain, and that's absolutely fantastic. So in news of exchanges, Digifinex was the most recent exchange that we just got listed on, which is huge because they're a top-tier exchange. And it's absolutely fantastic to spring that onto the community like that. Because, as I've said previously, we're all under a ton of NDAs, so we can't tell you what exchanges or wallets or whatever that we're listing on. But the cool thing is that, it's things like this that we can spring on the community and surprise them and be like, hey, we just got on a top-tier exchange, check this out. And it's just really, really awesome. So we'll have, I'll put it this way, we'll have more news like that coming out in probably the next few months. So it's the only thing I can say about that. We provided a update to Treasure Chest, which is a mandatory update. So we highly recommend. We want everyone to update to that latest version, whether you're using 7Seas, the old school Pirate Ocean wallet, or an older version of Treasure Chest. You all will need to update to be able to continue using the wallet, because we are hard forking on the 14th to include new code and things like that for optimizations and basically improving Z addresses. And the really cool thing about this is the fact that not even Zcash has done this stuff before. So this is probably code that they'll be pulling into their own chain at some point. So they'll actually be taking stuff from us instead of, vice versa, which is insane to think about. So huge shout out to, Forge, JL, Gruel, SOSane, and all those people that were helping out with that, and testing, including Lynch and all of them. I mean, basically, it speeds up a lot of stuff that previously would take a long time. Like, for example, rescanning or reindexing, things like that, to where exchanges would take days or weeks to be able to do, whereas now it should only take a maximum of like a couple hours, no matter how many addresses they have, or it'd be hundreds of thousands of addresses, doesn't matter. So, I mean, it's a really cool update. And to go the way that Forge explained it to me, which is essentially like a 5-year-old explanation, which is exactly what I love. Essentially, previously with the way the wallet rescanned and reindexed and stuff, it would search through your transactions, and say you had 5 addresses. It would take one address, scan the entire blockchain, pick out the transactions that occurred, and just keep going, finish, and then rescan with the next address. Same process, keep going through. Imagine how that is with thousands or hundreds of thousands of addresses. Now, with the new update, basically you take all those addresses, and then you rescan once, and you pick out every single address's transaction while going through the chain just once. So the way he put it is, say you have 3 different color marbles, like red, blue, green, and there's a basket for each. So when you're scanning through the chain, you find the red marbles, and beforehand you would find all the red first, then rescan the chain again, find all the blue, so forth. Whereas now you just find the red, put it in the red basket, find a green, put it in the green basket, and so forth, and just go through the chain just once. So this is just a massive improvement on maintenance, especially. Yeah, on top of that, the light wallet's been updated too. Just some minor adjustments here and there, and we've noticed that a lot of people have been having issues with accidentally sending to the donation address, which confuses me as to how that happens. But either way, we remove remove that ability, so basically that shouldn't happen again. Now, one thing that I spoke to the Crypto Vigilante group about this, and I haven't mentioned it anywhere else because, well, for one, conflict of interest potentially, but at the same time, this is going to be pirate related as well, and I'll explain that in a second. So, essentially, there's a project that I'm advising called Nightlife Crypto. Right, it's a gaming project, and it's got a third party building a casino for it, and also the crazy stuff. Now, it's all on chain, and it's just ridiculously awesome stuff. Now, the cool thing, the way that relates to pirate, is that entire thing, I'm not sure about the actual gaming portion, but at least, the very least, the casino is going to be forked for Pirate Chain. So, the awesome thing is that you can literally, for example, if you have Pirate on Polarity, you can just use your current seed phrase, because the whole thing's built on Turtle Network. So you can use your current seed phrase for your wallet, log into the platform, and then just play the casino. Doesn't matter. Or if they fork the games as well to accept Pirate Chain, then from that point you'll be able to, play games by paying in Pirate Chain. So if this platform, which I'm expecting to be actually massive, gets big, it'll be a huge boost to Pirate Chain, because now instead of having to pay the native token, you can just pay in Pirate Chain and play whatever you want, or gamble, or do whatever on the platform. So that's some really, really big news, and can't wait to be able to fork that. Which, when that happens, it'll probably be in the next 3 to 4 months, I would say, to play it safe. Could be a little bit sooner, but I'll give it the 3 to 4 month time frame, as I want to make sure that all the code that's written, all the games that are built, are tested for a long, long period of time with a ton of users, because that user base should be growing massive. So once that's fully tested and I'm satisfied with, no errors, no bugs, nothing, then that's when the fork will happen for all that stuff. And it's a simple fork too. It's just basically changing assets as far as what's accepted. So that's going to be some really, really exciting stuff. Also, for those of you who haven't seen the announcement for this, the newest version of or the latest edition of the Pirate Post is out. And like I always tell everybody, I highly, highly recommend everyone reads it. I mean, it's packed filled with information on Pirate Chain, all the recent updates, all this other stuff, and it's so well written. And huge shout out to Wookie about that, because Wookie's one of the best writers I've ever seen, and he does an amazing job with this every month. I mean, he puts a lot of effort and detail into this. It's great. So just to go through some of the stuff he talked about, April, we broke every single pretty much all-time high that we've ever had in every measurable statistic. We had over 12,000 unique visits to pirate.black, which is our website, obviously. And in April, we logged a whopping 210,000 unique visits. March, it was 12,000 unique visits. April was 210,000 unique visits. I mean, that increase is just ridiculous. So, on top of that, we've had tons of awesome news, like, obviously the exchange listing on Changely and Changely Pro. They're still getting used to handling Z addresses, so they pop on and off every so often, but obviously we're working directly with them, and they're getting used to how Z addresses act and how to handle them and how to maintain everything, which with the new code should be really, really easy, because that's one of the things that one of the main things we've done, because obviously want to make sure that exchanges basically spend the least amount of time figuring out how to work everything, and how the amount of time it takes to do certain things, which is, like I said, the whole rescan thing within 2 hours, no matter how many addresses you have. That's one of the main reasons why we built that. Another thing I want to mention was huge shout out to Paul, who has been making some awesome videos for Pirate Chain for tutorials. He's been doing a kick-ass job with that stuff, and puts a lot of time and effort into it, So me and the crew work with him to make sure that all the proper information is conveyed, and he does the rest. He basically shows everyone how to do it by doing it himself, so you can see that in the video, and then he actually voices over it with exactly what needs to happen and how to do things, which the quality of it is just insane. So I highly recommend checking out our YouTube channel, which is where it's posted. So for any questions like that on how-tos, eventually we're going to have a massive section on pretty much everything on how to do, run a full node, how to run a light node, how to set up a paper wallet, how to set up the mobile wallet, and just frequently ask questions, how to trade for Pirate Chain, things like that. So we got a lot of content that we're going to be coming up with over the next several months. And speaking about YouTube, another awesome thing was that I'm still amazed by this. Like, just type in Pirate Chain in YouTube. There's so many videos that pop up just from people that I have no idea who they are, like just people that have taken notice of Pirate Chain and just actually love it. And there's a couple tutorial videos out there. There's a ton of news on Pirate Chain. There's a ton of reviews about it. It's just, snowball effect, it seems like. As soon as the ball starts rolling down the hill, starts collecting all the snow and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's how I feel like we're heading, because we're just progressing so much, especially in the growth of the community. So yeah, so some of those videos are listed on the Pirate Post, as well as some of the weekly meetings. So if you missed any, you can check them out there, or hell, even on our YouTube channel. On top of that, Lutz's R&D department has been kicking a lot of ass lately. They have a product that they're going to put into alpha sometime soon and get some testers for. Not sure if he wants me to announce what it is yet, but I'll hold off and let him announce that, since it's his baby. So I'll just go ahead and say that Lutz has been kicking ass with a lot of his R&D stuff and producing quite a bit. So it's really, really good to see. And he's using developers that have just come into Pirate and said, hey, I want to help out. And it's just amazing to see community effort like this. And speaking about videos real quick, or going back a second, the Crypto Vigilante crew has been producing tons and tons of videos about us. So from Wrath, from Uncle, from Jeff and all them. So I want to give them a massive shout out, and because we appreciate all the content you produce for us like that. So huge thanks goes out to them for their continued support. Now, one other thing that is, it's price related, but to me it's just hilarious, because you guys know that I don't like to talk about price or anything like that, but all I want to say was we had flipped Zcash at one point last month, which was absolutely hilarious. Was it last month or April? One of those months. But either way, absolutely hilarious. It's just like the student becoming the master, it seems like, when it comes to privacy tech. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to do a shout out for was Gruel Satinder, who's been doing a great job with his support for Pirate. And he actually created a video that's been translated to a ton of different languages, called Why is Pirate the Ultimate Privacy Cryptocurrency? And it's absolutely fantastic, very, very informative, and it's just great initiative that he put forward, and especially with all the people that translated. So, and one other thing that I wanted to make sure that everyone knows is that we have a store directory called armada.com, and so it's ARRRMADA.com. Seiko runs that, which he's been doing a killer job on, so shout out to him as well. And one thing I didn't realize, because I didn't check that site in about a couple months maybe, just because I've been so busy, but I went back there and holy crap, there's over 100 stores now, and stores and services that accept Pirate Chain as a payment. There's even a location, I forget where it is, but there's actually a restaurant that accepts Pirate Chain as a payment. And I think it's called King Kebab or something to that extent. And yeah, because they sell authentic Syrian kebabs and shawarma and stuff. Just awesome to see that we're starting to gain adoption, not just in online stores, but also in physical locations too. That's one of the most impressive things that I've seen so far. Now, aside from that, the iOS mobile wallet is, I mean, I always say it's coming soon, which it's still, being worked on. The mobile wallet's probably going to be updated. And once that's done, it's going to be ported to iOS. And then we have to wait on the iOS store to, for them to approve us, which who knows how long that would take. It could take several months. But, the process has been started. So it's just waiting on Apple pretty much is the biggest problem. So not much we can do about speeding them up at all ever, because it's Apple. What do you expect? Yeah, so aside from that, pretty sure I covered everything. So we can open this up to questions if anybody has any questions. If you do have questions and want to speak, go ahead and raise your hand and I'll pull you on. So a question from YouTube. Is there a good resource for learning more about war and what its usage is, staking, etc.? Not at the moment. I will have something written probably by the end of next week. Actually, that brings up a good point. I'll have it done probably by the end of next week, only because I'll be in Miami tomorrow through Sunday. And I'll be with Benny, who's also in Pirate Chain, promoting Pirate. I'll be speaking at the Shitcoin event, which is held by Ken Bosak and them. So I'll be speaking there about Pirate Chain and privacy, and then Friday I'll be at the Bitcoin event with Benny as well, promoting Pirate Chain there too. So, so yeah, this week is pretty much shot for me for doing anything outside of the events. But next week I'll have something prepared and posted for you guys as far as more about wrapped R. Alchemy asks, what is the air speed velocity of an unladen swallow? I know that joke that's from, if I remember correctly, Monty Python. But my guess is 53 miles an hour. Let's see. Any other questions from community? Oh, let me check to see if anybody raised their hand. Yeah, if you want to, like I said, if you want to come on, go ahead and raise your hand. I think I see Exile.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, buddy?
How's your day?
Oh, busy, busy, busy. You know it.
It's good to be a part of this. When do you think, if it's possible, that the pirate community could expect another silver coin? I had posted the one, I got 13 out of 50, and when I posted that, a bunch of people were interested in a possible new minting of that. If you could speak on that. Thank you. Have a good day.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, I own a store called physicalcryptocoins.com where I produce just commemorative coins for different crypto projects. Originally started out as a pirate chain thing where I made a pirate chain physical coin, which is the first version has been retired. The second version is still available. I just got more stock in because they just sold out real quick. And I also have produced a 0.999 silver edition pirate chain coin, which was limited, which was a limited run of 50. And I've been getting a ridiculous amount of requests about creating another one. So I'm actually working on the design for the second version of it, and will probably be made in about 2.5 months, depending on the workload of my manufacturers and stuff. So yes, there is another one in the works. I'll be taking pre-orders for it once the design is finalized and ready to go. And yeah, there's probably, based on the feedback I've gotten, I'll probably have like a limited run of like 200 max, just to, keep it from being too many out there and keep the rarity of it and things like that. So, and plus I'll have like a certificate of authenticity and stuff with it, like I did last time, and something like that. I'll put another extra surprise in there, like I did the first time as well. So, cool. Appreciate the question, Exile. I see another question from Easy. When atomic swaps and when pirate decks? Well, pirate decks will come after atomic swaps, and atomic swaps, it's basically waiting on Komodo to finish the atomic decks. The atomic swaps portion, we should be able to be integrated at this point with the new wallet and the hard fork and things like that. It's just a matter of time when Komodo releases the atomic decks with us integrated into it. So, question from YouTube. Can someone answer how pirate chain can be used to buy something either in real life or online? How does the buyer know the identity of the seller to confirm the transaction while also being untraceable? Okay, so I can actually answer this because, I have a store. Well, for one, why would you need to know their identity if you're buying, just products and stuff online? Like, especially like merchandise or whatever. I mean, the information that the person spending the ARRR provides you should be sufficient. I mean, you shouldn't need to check their information because, I mean, if that person's paying you an ARRR and they provide you an address to send a product to, that should be sufficient, I mean, for example, with my store, literally someone can pay an ARRR and just put Bubba Bubba as a name and just put an address. I'm going to send it to that address because that's the one provided. And plus they paid me ARRR, so they actually paid for the product. So to me, if they put an incorrect address, that's not on me, that's on them. CryptoDoc says, what's the store again? It's physicalcryptocoins.com for the coins and stuff. Are we going to expect R to appear on Trezor/Ledger? We're working on it. That's the only thing I can really say about that. D.A. Jones said, what happened with the meme contest? As I said before, and I kept repeating to people, the meme contest has nothing to do with us. The Survival Podcast were the ones that were hosting that, and I figured I'd give them a shout out by, letting everyone know that they were holding the meme contest. The meme contest has nothing to do with us or the team or anything like that. It was completely set up and done by people from the Survival Podcast, which they were doing an excellent job with, by the way. So shout out to them about that. But yeah, so that's all on them. So you can probably speak to Wavehead and a couple others that are helping run that contest. I think they're going to announce the winners sometime soon or something like that. So. Carnage CR says, is the new treasure wallet update on PyreOS? The Light wallet, I don't think it's updated just yet, but I think that Lutz is going to be having his team update that probably. That's more of a Lutz question because he knows more about the OS. I mean, granted, the Light wallet doesn't technically need to be updated since it connects to a full node, and that full node is already updated. So. Let's see, what else is there? Details on the hard fork. What happens if I didn't update the treasure chest wallet? So essentially, you won't be able to utilize your funds. So all you got to do is just update your wallet. That's it. Chameleon says, another question, do in real life stuff have international shipping? For my store, yeah. Have you got the link to the privacy email provider in the weekly chat 2 weeks ago?
I think they mean alter mail.
Yeah. I gotta find that link somewhere. I think because at that point in time, they didn't have a website built yet, or they were in the middle of building it. So I'll have to dig that up, and I'll post that later. Any questions from any of the other socials, Tim?
Somebody's asking if we're going to participate in a physical event in the near future.
Yeah, so we'll be at the shitcoin event. We'll be at the Bitcoin event as well, which is this week. We'll be at Portfest at the end of this month. We'll also be. I'll be at back in Miami again. I think probably in July or August for Komodo event and stuff like that.
People are asking in YouTube a lot about CoinEx.
Yeah, CoinEx. The last update I have from them is that they're basically they're rescanning still with their. I believe it's their old nodes still, and basically, long story short, we're in talks with them. It has to do with them, not us, because we told them exactly how to update things like that. And they're not on the same page yet, but Kosi has been working on that, and yeah, he's going to get everything resolved for everybody, just to let people know what's going on. So, but yeah, Kosi is working on that. But what was the other question, Tim, that they had aside from CoinX?
There was a question about the Apollo wallet.
Yeah, so we're working on figuring out a way to integrate ourselves into that. So we're directly working with the Apollo team. As far as the time frame for that, honestly, I have no idea. It just depends on how that goes with integration, figuring that stuff out, and then going from there. To be honest, so.
Somebody asking the estimated time for the pancake swap listing.
Well, the listing itself will come when, the at the token generation event, and then we provide liquidity on PancakeSwap. So, just a side note, we're going to be launching on Prism Network, which is basically, you can think of it as a better version of PancakeSwap. They're not as well known yet, but they're doing some really awesome stuff. I've actually been working with them since I'm advising Nightlife Crypto, but they got some really cool stuff that that PancakeSwap doesn't even have. So what'll end up happening is we'll be listed on there. So I'll provide some liquidity there, and then we'll provide some liquidity also on PancakeSwap too. So, but first we're going to hit Prism Network, and then probably same day add liquidity to PancakeSwap too. So,
Kate Moss on Twitch is asking if we're moving to the Binance Smart Chain.
wait, say that again?
She's asking if Pirate Chain is moving to the Binance Smart Chain.
No, we're not moving anywhere. Basically, what's happening is when you have a wrapped version of a coin, basically what that's saying, you can think of it as like a proxy token, right? So it's essentially taking that coin and locking it up in a gateway, and then issuing a tokenized version of it on another network. So this doesn't affect any of our privacy or security because nothing. It's off of our chain at that point. And like I mentioned previously, what I'll do is I'll write up something pretty big as far as explaining what war is, how it works, why it's awesome, things like that. This way, everyone should have a really good understanding of all that stuff. A particle, that's it's prism, like PRISM, not prison, prism. No problem.
Eddie on YouTube is asking, is there an advantage to atomic swapping versus converting BTC to XMR without KYC and then sending the XMR to TradeAuger and converting BTC to ARRR?
Yeah, the advantage is you just do one swap. Like you can just swap XMR for R in the atomic DEX or the pirate DEX eventually when it comes out. So essentially, and it's trustless too. So you don't need to go to centralized exchanges or whatever. You can literally just do a swap on the atomic dex with somebody and trustlessly trade R for XMR for R and stuff like that.
Okay, another question that's come up like 2 or 3 times now is when Binance?
Sometime between Monday and Sunday.
That's a good question. As Fernando Lobato is asking, where can I find the white paper for war?
There is no white paper for war. There won't be anyways. You wouldn't make a white paper specifically for a wrapped version of your token or coin. Somebody asked, "This when Halo are we following Zcash schedule?" So this is still a debated topic as to if and when. Because the thing is that when it comes to Halo, yeah, it is trustless, but keep in mind that it's slower, takes more time to process, and the block sizes are bigger. So it does come with some downsides. As far as following Zcash's schedule, not really, no. We'll be doing it on our own time. Plus, personally, what I'd like to see is then implement it first and then basically run into the minefields and then fix those minefields so that we can, when we implement it, it's already fixed. Definitely don't want to be a guinea pig.
Ivo Yanev is asking, will the fork create a new coin and will there be a connection with R?
Will the fork create a new coin? I mean, the hard fork on the 14th?
Yeah.
No, it's you're still going to use the same ZS address. It's the same thing. So. Somebody asked, so I was planning on making some original designs for t-shirts. Do I need permission to use the Parachain logo? No, you do not need permission to use our logo. Everyone is free to design shirts, merchandise, whatever they want using our logo. We just ask that obviously it's in a good, presented in a good way, not in a negative way. Awesome. Yeah, Carnage, if you do make some shirts or merchandise or whatever, man, just throw up on here, contact Seiko, get your store listed on the directory and everything, man. Any other questions, comments, anything?
Somebody has called their dog Pirate Jane.
Awesome.
And somebody else is asking, can an app be built on top of R?
Wait, what?
If you can build an app on top of R.
Depends on what the app is. I mean, people are free to do whatever they want as far as building stuff on top of Pirate, obviously, but as far as if they're asking if they're able to, like as far as whatever that app is, I mean, it all depends on what the app does. And Laris, I mentioned that War's coming at the end of June or beginning of July at the latest. I already have the devs and everything ready to go, so. Yeah, see, the problem with that, though, is, well, no, I don't think that would be a problem as far as, never mind, forget what I was saying. All right. Any other questions, comments, anything before we start winding down? All right, 5 seconds. Thanks, Laris. Appreciate that. All right. Well, appreciate everybody coming and asking their questions, commenting, and everything like that. You guys are awesome. Like I keep saying, this is the best community I've ever seen, and I'm really glad I'm a part of it. And yeah, I'll catch you next month for the monthly update, or next week with Lutz and his weekly meetings. So thank you, everyone. Take care. I'll catch you later.